Hi guys, well, I'm doing this thing, I don't really want to record a video. I'm going through some tough times right now. I don't know, guess I'm just feeling down because a lot of stuff haven't turned out the way I wanted them to, and it's really tough times with money now. This is why I went today and bought one of these used heating fan thingies. I don't know how you call them in English, because we're really low on money. We recently moved this year to a new place in rent, first time in our life when we live in rent. There's no air conditioning here, and the central city heating system, in a corrupted, messed up country like ours, it just, they give heat like 40-50 degrees in the heaters only if the temperature drops significantly. So even though we had nights with 4 or 5 degrees outside, there's zero heating, and we kind of froze the last night, so I was forced to get one of these. The price in dollars about maybe like what's that for? $6 or $7, something like that. So it's a bargain, even for us here. Now it does work okay, but when I first tested it, it seemed that the propeller was a bit loose, and now apparently something just fell off. Let's see if I can power this thing up. I hope my exposure is good. It's set to manual. And that's what it does. The seller clearly stated that it was it took a fall on a desk or something like that, which is why it has this little hole here. I took a risk because most of them were more expensive than what I can afford right now, and yeah, anyway, as long as the heating element works, and it worked for a few hours today, I don't think it's something that bad. Probably needs just a bit of glue or something fell out of place. The bad thing about this is I can't show you deep within these holes, but there are those they're not Phillips screws, they're those triangular head screws. I want to see if I can use just a regular small flathead. Something's happening, I think. And the screwdriver appears to raise upwards as I unscrew it. Or is it just me? Yeah, something definitely happening here. Yeah, this one's coming out. It really helps if you have a sharp, flathead screwdriver like this, because when you push into the screw, it creates a small dent in the screw, and then you can just use that dent to unscrew it. This one will fall right off. There you go. And this one's done. So let's see what's going on here. Make sure this is unplugged, because that would be unpleasant. Okay, so what's going on in here? Have this propeller here, and it's sitting like so. I can't see a damn thing touching anything. Oh, there you go. Simple fix. See how it's broken here? And this piece of this cylinder that's used to direct air is just probably pressing against the propeller, so that's an easy fix. Just gonna what? Try and let's see. Try to be a bit smart about it. I think I'll just use the soldering iron. I'm just gonna fix it with by melting the plastic along the crack, you know, to put it back in place with the soldering iron. This motor seems a bit wiggly here. I'm not sure why. I'm also looking if I can bend the bimetallic strip a bit, just to facilitate this thing getting a bit hotter than it is right now. Also has a fuse. By the way, this thing is not getting red hot. It's not emitting any kind of light, so the resistive conductor here is well below that critical temperature, so there's nothing glowing in it. That's why, because obviously it has air running around. It's not like one of those fanless heaters that glow hot red. And that's why I figured it can, you know, it's turning off the heating element quite often, and it's a bit cold in here, so but it works just fine. I mean, 5 or 10 minutes, and within that time range you expect it to get to the maximum temperature, so it should be just fine. That being said, I don't know what that does. These things kind of tend up to pop rather. Maybe I should bend it more. Scrape the surfaces a bit here too. Get rid of all those deposits on the contacts, because that's a problem sometimes. Okay, that should do it. Okay, now you know what? I'll power this thing like this. By keeping my hand here, I should be able to hold it down and not get electrocuted or anything. Don't try this at home, the usual warning. There's still quite a bit of noise. Yeah, it's not getting hot at all. Check it out. There's no red hot glowing conductor anywhere in here. I think the motor is not held in place with anything, not even screws. Kind of like 2 plastic pins. So it wobbles around a lot. Okay, that should be enough. Yeah, it's just those wires and the heating element that kind of vibrate on the insulating support they're on, so there's not much I can do about that thing. That's the bimetallic strip. That's actually the one for safety, I think, to protect this thing from melting down. And the actual working bimetallic strip is up here. I don't know. I'll see if I'm still not happy with it. I can just open it up again. Let's tweak around the propeller. No, that's worse. How do you actually do that? I wonder what happens if I put my finger in while it's running. No, I'm not wondering. That should be pretty painful. Oh boy. Why did I touch the propeller? Sometimes I do these stupid things that should never be done. By the way, I'm using my fingers to stop it just because there's no power keeping it in rotation when it's turned off. That was a stupid thing to do. Now it's gonna take forever till I get to center it again. That is just messed up. That is straight up messed up. Okay, so I finally found a good position for the blade so that they don't vibrate that much. And I noticed that the whole assembly is kind of wobbly because, as I said, I tried to find a few screws in here. These two, I thought they're screws, but they're basically just held together with some sort of plastic pins. So what I'm trying to do is I've drilled a couple of holes on the side with my screwdriver. I don't care about the looks of this thing. It's a temporary thing anyway until I get something more, something better to heat myself up. But by catching these wires with one of these little thingies, I think I will stop the wobbling and prevent any unnecessary noise from being generated during operation. These things are cheap and crap quality anyway, so I can't expect much from them. Even brand new, they're not that much of a joy to operate. Let's see. Oh, come on. Yeah, see, that's a sign of the fact that it's improperly placed, because if I put my hand down, it just goes away. Maybe it goes away if I put it together. That's an idea. Okay, let's fix this one. And finish this thing. Get this over with for this night. And just place the crack, the two pieces of the crack, as close together as you can, and then just draw like you would draw with a pen with the heating iron just along the crack, and that should solve your problem. Careful not to go all the way through the other side, as I kind of just did right now. This maneuver creates some edges, but it's not going to be that close to the blades anyway, so it's pretty safe to do this. Or would it just mess with me until I have a nervous breakdown? Okay, let's search for some screws. And now for a test. God help us all. Is this thing still in one piece? It appears so. So let's see what I've done. And no other stupid noises. Not sure about the airflow now. It seems to be a bit less powerful. Maybe the way I bent those blades, but it's still blowing like it's not stationary. That might actually help getting it a bit hotter, which is perfect for what I need. Definitely nothing glowing red in here. Let me put the light away. As you can see, there's nothing glowing inside. So, and these things are made, I think they can work very well even if they're red hot. I think. If they're not different, I don't know if they use different metals in the ones that glow red, but I know for a fact that they should be okay, even if it's glowing, and this one is not. So what I'm basically trying to say, to cut the crap, is that it can work at higher temperatures if I can make it to work at higher temperatures. So it does a bit of noise when it stops and starts, but that's okay. Just gonna test it for a while and keep you up to date. Yeah, this is 2 days later, and this thing seems to work just fine. Apparently all that vibration was caused just by that internal frame with the heating element not being held in place by the second half of the casing, which is what happens when you put the screws back in and the two faces, the two halves, just squeeze that sub-assembly between them, and then nothing moves. I did have to fiddle a bit with the fan blades because they were off-centered because I messed them up, but it turned out okay in the end. I had a bit of trouble, at first I didn't get the angle quite right, and then there wasn't much air flowing through, but it's not like rocket science, a little bit of care, and it took some I kind of eyeballed it, watching the blade from the side, to see exactly at what angle each of the blade is, and then try to make them both the same and give them a proper angle so they can chop air and send it blowing to the front end. Yeah, that worked. So I'm actually gonna turn it up. There's absolutely no noise whatsoever now, just when it starts and stops. I'm actually not gonna turn it on now because I just closed the windows. I let some fresh air in, and as you can see, it's 1:22 a.m. and this is the temperature, 20 degrees Celsius. I don't know about you guys, but out here this is bloody cold. At 20 degrees I have to sleep with my hat on and a sweater on, so this is chilly. So I'm gonna turn it up a bit. That's how it sounds. Pretty warm. Now, I told you this is not ideal. It sucks up a lot of power. I'm not putting the watt meter back on it, but I measured it. It says 2000 watts. And luckily, it only consumes 1600 watts, but so that's a crazy amount of electric energy. But it does the job, and it's all I could afford right now. So rather than going sick like I was this week, and feeling like I was sitting on my chair at the desk, and I literally felt the knees like freezing. It was like sitting in a pool of cold water. It's and I'm not getting any younger. And it's really not nice when you have things to do and sleep all night in the cold, waking up feeling all ill and unwilling to do anything just because the bastards don't turn on the heat in the city. It's not the best thing to do, so yeah, it's gonna pump up the electric bill, but I'm willing to do that. Anyway, any heating solution you use is gonna pump up the electric bill, so it's like, I don't know, it might be 30-40% more with this, but even an air conditioner, I think it kind of should use about the same amount of power on heating. I don't think there's much of a difference. I don't know exactly, but it obviously doesn't consume only 100 watts to heat an entire room. So yeah, goes up quite a bit. Don't know why I turned the lights off. The SIL 20, it can go as high as 24 if you leave this thing on. There's a little spider too. Hello, little guy. Yeah, you gotta have to clean the webs on the walls too. These guys are pretty busy at night, I think. So yeah, that's it with this video. It's really nice. It's really heating up the place. It's good to have even this if you can't afford anything else. And on the plus side, it's very small and very light. There's not much weight to it. It's about, I'd say, less than a kilo actually, which is pretty impressive for something that can heat an entire room. And that means you can take it whatever you want in the house, you know, put it in the bathroom if you want to take a shower, make it nice and cozy and warm, in the kitchen if you want to cook, and stuff like that. Thanks for watching.